Hi guys, this is Ronnie Rice again. I want to talk to you guys today about developing a plan. You often hear people say, well, I want to do this, but I want to develop a plan. And they're never really putting any thought through it. So what I mean by that is, one, when you're developing a plan, you want to know where you want to go. What's your ultimate goal? Two, what's your why? Three, what are your resources? And four, how are you going to evaluate if you succeed or not? And five, what are you going to do once you fail or you succeed, and what's the next level, or how are you going to correct your failure? So I know I'm hitting people a lot of information right now, but I see a lot of time people asking me, well, Ronnie, how do you accomplish all the things that you accomplish? And the answer is pretty simple. I put the goals in front of me and I see what's my why I want to do it. So let's go with the first thing. My reason for doing what I do with YouTube, my blog, and things of that sort is numerous. One, I want to have something for my kids. Two, I want to help those who were in a situation that I was once in. And now that I'm in a better situation, I feel like it's on me to reach back to them and say, hey, this is what I did to get to where I am now. So I have my goal, right, is to put content out there on social media, on the web, books, material, what have you. But my why is what keeps me committed. It's not because I just have a checkbook or a task on my desk to say, I want to do this because I want people just to know me. No, I want to actually put quality content out there. I want to put quality information out there that'll help people in different fields. So not just medical doctors or lawyers, but also entrepreneurs or people who only have their GED, or folks who might never graduated high school, that they can take these principles and apply them in everyday life, whether it's personal or whether it's professional. The next thing I tell people do in regards to developing a plan is, what are your resources? Okay, and this is kind of tricky, right? Your resources could be anything. It could be yourself. It could be your car, it could be your home, it could be your spouse, it could be your kids. So let's break it down. Let's give you some examples. So if you want to open a business where you are driving people around, your number one resource is what? Your car, right? So you might not have that brand new Lincoln Town Car, limousine, or a new Escalade, but you might have a SUV where you keep it clean every day and you drive people around. Or let's say if you wanted to develop custom-made products at home, your number one resource is your home, space to work, and then two, your family and friends. Because you can engage your family and friends to get the word out, because chances are you don't have the marketing dollars to do billboards, to do TV, to do radio. So word of mouth is probably your only tool to get people out there to know what you're doing. Next thing I would tell people to do is, when you develop a plan, is assess where you're going. Assess, are you actually achieving the goals that you set out for yourself? Oftentimes people start making some money and people start to make sales or get clients and get contracts. And 3 or 5 years down the line, they're like, man, where all the money go? Or, man, am I doing this for the right reason? Or sometimes people get their why, right? They get so caught up in meeting deadlines and creating products and servicing the client that the quality of service lacks because they miss their why. And you have to always stay in tune with your why. And more importantly, assess, are you achieving the goals that you set forth when you started on this endeavor? And lastly, will you find out if you're achieving or failing? If you're achieving, what are you doing to get to the next level? Or what's your next step? Or is it to sell? So I have a lot of friends that are in the tech startup world, and their whole game or their whole goal is to just create a company that's scalable and then exit. They find an exit plan. They're finding the exit door, which is nothing wrong with that. I always tell people sometimes, what God has called you to build, he didn't call you to manage. So this is definitely a difference in those two models of thinking. And then What if you fail? What if you are failing? What are you going to do to to stop the bleeding? Or to say, okay, maybe this not cut out for me. Or you change things. You change the way that you're thinking or the way that you're doing things to make yourself successful and profitable. So I know I'm hitting people with a lot of information, but let's be real here. How many of us have tried to get a degree or start a business or try to get our kids to do something or plan a family vacation together or try to get that promotion at your job? You got to have certain things in place to make sure that you're successful. And when developing a plan, we always hear people say they have a plan and their plan is never wrote down, or they have it in the back of their head, or they might have wrote it down or typed it up, but they never looked at it. But you have to have certain mechanisms and variables in place to ensure your success, no matter where you are in life. I don't want you to look at me or your counterparts or your colleagues or those people who are on TV, the talking heads, and say, man, how in the world did they even get to that point? It's very simple. They put the work in. And the work, most of the time, it's not necessarily just hard grinding work, but it's like, what is it that I can do to ensure that I am instilling the behaviors and the habits to ensure my success? And most of the time, people just fail to plan. And you know what they say, when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I know it sounds cliche. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds like Schoolhouse Rock. But the truth is, if you don't plan, you're planning to fail. But here's the thing. When has somebody stopped and said, hey, are you actually planning like you're supposed to be planning? Right? Is this the right way to plan? So I guarantee you, if you follow those 5 steps, which are set your goals, find out what your resources are, assess if you're hitting your mark or not, assess what's your why, and after you assess if you're being successful in what you're trying to do or not, then you, one, have plans to go and grow, or you have plans to say, I'm gonna stop the bleeding, stop what you're doing, or you reevaluate and reengage how you're going to make sure that you're successful in what project you're trying to do. I know it sounds very simple, or it might sound complex for some people, but I hope that it helps you guys. Once again, this is Ronnie Rice. Feel free to like, share, comment on me, follow me on all my social media. It's Get Rice Now, which is GET, Rice, RICE, Now, NOW. Or always feel free to text me. My number is 205-222-9815. I would love to hear from you. And until next time,